Dibre haYamim bet chapter 35. And Yoshiyahu performed a Pesach to Yah in Yerushalayim, and they slew the Pesach on the 14th day of the first new moon. And he set the priests in their duties and strengthened them for the service of the house of Yah, and said to the Levites who were teaching all Israel, who were set apart to Yah, put the set-apart ark in the house which Shlomo, son of David, sovereign of Israel, built. It is no longer to be a burden on your shoulders. Now serve Yah your Elohim and his people Israel, and prepare by the fathers' houses according to your divisions, by right in the house of David, sovereign of Israel, and by the writing of Shlomo his son. And stand in the set-apart place by the divisions of the fathers' houses of your brothers, the lay people, in the portion of the father's house of the Levites. And slay the Pesach and set yourselves apart, and prepare for your brothers to do according to the word of Yah by the hand of Moshe. And Yoshiyahu gave the lay people lambs and young goats from the flock, all for Pesachim for everyone present, to the number of 30,000 and 300,000 cattle. These were from the sovereign's possessions, and his leaders contributed a voluntary offering to the people, to the priests, and to the Levites. Hilkiah, and Zechariah, and Yehiel, leaders of the house of Elohim, gave to the priests for the Pesachim 2,600 and 300 cattle. And Conanyahu, his brothers Shemayahu, and Nethanel, and Hashabyahu, and Yeiel, and Yozabad, chiefs of the Levites, gave to the Levites for Pesachim 5,500 cattle. And the service was prepared, and the priests stood in their divisions, and the Levites in their divisions, according to the commands of the sovereign. And they slew the Pesach, and the priests sprinkled out their hands, while the Levites were skinning. And they removed the ascendant offerings to give them to the divisions of the fathers' houses of the lay people, to bring to Yah, as it is written in the book of Moshe, and the same with the cattle. So they roasted the Pesach with fire, according to the right ruling. And they boiled the set-apart offerings in pots, and in caldrons, and in bowls, and brought them speedily to all the lay people. And afterward they prepared for themselves and for the priests, because the priests, the sons of Aharon, were offering ascendant offerings and fat until night. So the Levites prepared for themselves and for the priests, the sons of Aharon. And the singers, the sons of Asaph, were in their places, according to the command of David, and Asaph, and Heman, and Yeduthan, the seer of the sovereign, and the gatekeepers at each gate did not have to leave their position, because their brothers the Levites prepared for them. And all the service of Yah was prepared that day, to perform the Pesach, and to offer ascendant offerings or the slaughter place of Yah, according to the command of sovereign Yoshiyahu. And the children of Israel who were present performed the Pesach at that time, in the festival of Masot for 7 days. There had not been a Pesach performed in Israel like it since the days of Shemuel the prophet. And none of the sovereigns of Israel had performed such a Pesach as Yoshiyahu performed, with the priests and the Levites, and all Yehudah and Israel who were present, and the inhabitants of Yerushalayim. In the 18th year of the reign of Yoshiyahu, this Pesach was performed. After all this, when Yoshiyahu had prepared the house, Necho, sovereign of Mizraim, came up to fight against Carchemish by the Euphrates. And Yoshiyahu went out against him, and he sent messengers to him, saying, What have I done with you, sovereign of Yehudah? Am I not coming against you this day, but against the house with which I am fighting? For Elohim commanded me to make haste. Leave Elohim alone, who is with me, lest he destroy you. However, Yoshiyahu would not turn his face from him, but disguised himself to fight against him, and did not listen to the words of Necho from the mouth of Elohim, and came to fight in the valley of Megiddo. And the archers shot at sovereign Yoshiyahu, and the sovereign said to his servants, Take me away, for I am severely wounded. And his servants took him out of that chariot, and put him in the second chariot that he had, and they brought him to Yerushalayim. And he died, and was buried in one of the burial sites of his fathers. And all Yehudah and Yerushalayim were mourning for Yoshiyahu. And Yirmiyahu lamented for Yoshiyahu. And to this day, all the singing men and the singing women speak of Yoshiyahu in their lamentations. and made it a law in Israel. And see, they are written in the laments. And the rest of the acts of Yoshiyahu and his loving commitment according to what was written in the Torah of Yah, and his acts from the first to the last, see, they are written in the book of the sovereigns of Israel and Yehuda.